As always, guys, if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. If you want to, you don't have to.
What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to his channel. This weekend we watched Beauty and the Beast.
That was good.
Now I know Austin changes locations a lot, but this time we are actually in Pensacola, Florida on spring break. So that's why it's different.
And this is actually a really good spot to record videos, so props to her, Nana. She is awesome. But right now we are talking Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is directed by Bill Condon and stars Dan Stevens and Emma Watson as Belle. So Beauty and the Beast is kind of a different beast of a movie. You see what I did there? Different beast. That's good. But it's one of those movies that you go in expecting it to be one thing, but you don't really know how it's going to turn out. I wanted it to be a masterpiece. From the trailers, I thought we were going to get a masterpiece, but some of the critics, they've been a little harsh on it. Or a little bit.
What's the score?
On Rotten Tomatoes, I believe it's a 71, Metacritic's a 65. It's not a bad score and it's not a bad average.
It's fresh.
But that 29% of critics, what were the flaws that they had with it that weren't good enough to get it to a 6 out of 10? So that was kind of worrying me in the back of my head. But I went into this movie not wanting it to match up to the original, because the original is one of the best Disney movies ever made, but I wanted it to do just enough to make it a little bit different and stand alone as its own movie. And I think, going ahead and starting off with our points, I think this movie absolutely did that. It added, I think, just enough that it needed to add to make the movie different from the original, but it kept the heart and it kept the beauty of the original Beauty. I'm full of puns today. It kept the beauty of the original Beauty and the Beast, and I personally really liked this movie. Madison, what were your immediate thoughts on Beauty and the Beast?
Okay. So my immediate thoughts was it was an awesome movie. The set design.
My nipples are hard.
Okay. The set design was really awesome. I really liked that. Everything looked great.
The costumes, the visuals, and the castle, you know.
The castle was awesome.
I thought everything in this movie
really
was
cool.
beautiful.
And the color schemes that they had.
I think the director did a good job, and that's one thing that I like about Bill Condon, is he gives us that really cool color scheme, but he also gave us a different style of directing, and that's something that for me worked for the most part. There were a few scenes, like you said, coming out of the movie, Madison, I don't want to steal your point, but the music videos, or the songs in the movie.
Music videos.
Music videos. Oh, this is Suicide Squad all over again. But the songs in the movie just felt, they were shot more like you said, a play,
Yeah, it was
right?
it was like a legit musical that you went to
that you would watch on stage.
Yeah.
With CGI creatures.
And it felt like they did the camera, they don't stop filming the whole time.
That's
it's
true.
Just a
one take, one shot.
take.
But I also felt like the focus in some of the shots was not where they wanted your eye to be. I felt like my eye was focused on something that was going on maybe in the background, and it should have been focused on maybe Belle or the Beast. But that's, I mean, it's a small pet peeve, but it's one that could take some people out of the scenes, and I could see why some people would not like the movie because of it. But for me, everything worked so well that it didn't bother me as much as it should have.
What I would compare it to is like when you watch La La Land, if you've seen that, they have the musical scenes, everything's fine. The whole movie is the same, no matter if they're singing, if they're just acting.
That's true.
But in this movie, the acting, everything was cool. It was a movie, I was watching a movie, but the second they started singing, I was like, this is a play.
It felt like a play. I agree with that.
Something
and
was
that's
different about it.
And
I
it's
don't know.
not a negative for
No,
me.
it's not.
It's just something that's different than most musicals. And while I appreciate that and respect that, I can see how people wouldn't like that.
The songs were the same. They added a few extra.
There were a few songs, but I don't think it was adding things that didn't need to be added. I thought they added things. There was a little prologue at the beginning, and I didn't know where they were going to go with it at first. They added some character development, but once the movie continues on, the stuff that they did with the Beast, I actually think outdid the original animated movie. They gave him a dimension where it kind of makes him smarter. Instead of a mindless creature, it gave him a personality, and I appreciated that, and I respected that, and I thought Dan Stevens as the Beast was great, but he was not the best actor in this movie, Madison. Oh my gosh, Gaston was awesome.
Yeah, he looked exactly, to me, exactly like the cartoon, the original.
He looked like him, sounded like him, and the thing is, Luke Evans has always been this actor who I wanted him to have the big role, and this was the big role. This is his thing that I think is going to make him a huge superstar after this. No more Dracula Untolds of the world. This guy is going to be huge. And another guy that I thought did really good was Josh Gad as LeFou. Now, his first couple of scenes, if you guys haven't seen the movie or haven't heard everything about the movie, there was an aspect of his character that I think the first few scenes, they kind of shoved in your face a little bit, and it was really on the nose and super obvious what they were trying to do, but it didn't take me out of the movie because they continuously got better with his character. His character ended up being hilarious and funny, and I really enjoyed what they did to his character while the movie was continuing to wrap up. But I thought both of those guys together, their chemistry was hilarious.
I liked his character. He was funny. The only thing for me was he didn't have an accent.
That's true.
It's based in France, but they all had British accents, which is fine. He sounded like he sounds in his other movies.
He was Olaf from Frozen, but I thought he was still good as LeFou. He cracked me up.
I thought his name the whole movie was LaFleur.
LaFleur.
I was just thinking
he was good as LaFleur too, you know.
I was thinking Dodgeball.
I thought Belle, I don't know how you felt about her, but I think Emma Watson was really good as Belle. I know you didn't like her as much as I did, but
It's not that I didn't like her. I feel like you could have cast anyone for that role. It was not a very difficult role.
That's true.
For anybody.
That's true.
I'm not
couldn't have done it,
but
I couldn't have done it.
I just feel like maybe they would have benefited from having someone that's not so well known. How bad could the movie actually have been?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they had the whole script written. All they had to do was tweak the original and make it their own.
I thought they did just as good of a job as Jungle Book did with improving things from the original. I don't like this movie as much as Jungle Book. I thought Jungle Book was a masterpiece, but I was really impressed with Beauty and the Beast, and personally, the critics that gave this a 3 and 4 out of 10, I don't agree with them. I respect them.
They didn't mess it up. That's all you can hope for with these
they absolutely didn't.
But so far, they've done good with them, though.
They have, except, I see, the thing
Knock on wood, though.
I think Maleficent and Alice in Wonderland, I thought screwed it up big time. Maleficent was a Disney movie. Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it.
And they took Angelina Jolie and made Maleficent a good guy. A spoiler for a movie that's been out for so many years. And Alice in Wonderland was just too crazy for me. I know you enjoyed it, but that movie,
I think it's so cool.
That movie was bad.
Did you like the original? Were you ever in Alice in Wonderland?
No. Not at all. I watched it once when I was a kid, and I appreciated it, but I never really went back and watched it again. But I just thought this one was just.
See, I've always liked it.
But you know what? I think the last couple of movies, Cinderella, Jungle Book, and now Beauty and the Beast, I think have been great. Madison, how would you compare this to the original Beauty and the Beast? Like, how does it stack up? I know we shouldn't really compare, but if they're making a movie that's the exact same as the other movie and calling it the same thing, I think we can compare. So what would you say about that?
Like I said earlier, as long as you don't ruin the movie, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
I love that the songs were the same, sounded the same. The movie was pretty much the same.
It was. Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. I think, I'm not going to say it's better. Can you really say anything's better than the original Disney film?
The first ever animated movie to get nominated for Best Picture, I don't think anything they would have done was going to stack up to that, but I think they did as good of a job as they possibly could,
yes.
and I appreciate what they did. And
yes.
Personally, I really enjoyed this movie.
Yes.
The
dress wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's the
like
yellow dress, the beautiful yellow dress, and it was just kind of like, oh, it's on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then they're dancing, and oh.
2 more criticisms
The dancing
before we
was so
wrap this
short.
up. They wrapped up the movie
so fast,
very quickly.
Yeah.
Quicker than I wanted them to wrap it up, and for me that kind of took it down just a little bit because I wanted more fleshing out of the resolve of the movie.
But maybe it's because you knew what was going to happen the entire time.
Yeah,
so maybe you felt bored. Like, I don't know. And
even then, I was hoping for a little bit more at the end.
Have children or something. Let me see what happens.
Let me see your babies. What? Another criticism that I had was I thought the CGI on the Beast was good.
Criticizing the whole movie.
I thought the CGI on the Beast was good, but there were some scenes where he just looked real. I still have Jungle Book in my head, and that was a visual masterpiece. In some scenes he looked great. In some scenes he looked like a cartoon.
Sometimes she'd be touching him, and it was like she was really touching the Beast.
And then sometimes she'd be touching him, and it was like, touch him hard.
It was fake.
Just the tip. Touch him. Touch the Beast.
Touch his beast!
Anyways, Madison,
I'm like so slappy right now.
You are very slappy. Slap happy is what slappy means. So we are going to score this movie. Madison, what are you going to score?
I'm going to go with an 8. Just because it's Disney, really like musicals, so 8's good for me. For a musical, come on, guys. Go ahead, Austin.
Is this the first time this has ever happened? 8 out of 10.
Oh,
we have 2
surprised
8s. We have the same score on a movie. We agree for once. That's great. But what did you guys
Catch you later,
think?
flick
No,
fit.
not
Okay.
yet. What did you guys think of Beauty and the Beast? Did you like the movie? How would you
Comment
compare
below.
it to the original? Don't comment. You can't compare the 2 movies because they're the same movie with the same names. So yes, you can, YouTube, or you can comment that. You're free to do whatever you want. Subscribe to my channel, like this video if you like it, and go see Beauty and the Beast because this movie's breaking records, and you could be a part of history, my friends. What are you eating for dinner right now? Let me know in the comments below. You guys are the absolute best. And we will be back after we sing a little ditty. Ready? Tellie's all this
I was going, catch you
time.
later.
You were gonna dance or something? Oh yeah, we'll catch you later as well. Did I already say that? I just said it again.